All right, we are going to start off with some racket skills for this week. Mr. Buxa is going to be for kindergarten, first and second grade. I am for third, fourth, and fifth grade. I have a racket. So if you have a racket at home, go ahead and grab it. If you don't, you are going to use your hand. You need to find one ball. We have these foam tennis balls. Whatever you guys have, you can use. The very first thing we have to talk about is the sweet spot. For Mr. Buxa, the sweet spot is on the palm of his hand. For me, it is this middle part in the middle of the racket. We'll go over the parts of the racket next time, but the very first thing you have to do if you have your racket is a handshake grip. If Mr. Buxa was holding it on the rim for me, it's like you're shaking hands. You take the V of your hand, shake hands with the racket. The V is on the side, and this is how you grip it. What we are going to start off with first is just balancing the ball on our racket or on our palm on the sweet spot. If you don't have any kind of ball, go ahead and use a stuffed animal or get creative. Now we have a hula hoop to walk around. I am going to place it. He has it, and notice his hand is flat. It's not cupped because that would make it way too easy. And we are going to balance the ball on our sweet spot. I color with my right hand, so my right hand is on the racket. My other hand is not touching the racket at all. We could put it behind our back. If the ball, stuffed animal, beanbag gets away from you, pick it up and start again. Just make sure you have your handshake grip. And you all will do this with us. Go ahead and turn and go the other way. Mr. Buxa's hand is nice and flat because a lot of times when you guys are in here, we notice that you guys almost cup your hand so it looks like a little cup or a bowl. You need it nice and flat on the sweet spot. The sweet spot is where you want to make contact with the ball, whether it's baseball, tennis, ping pong, or any other racket sport. Go the other direction. Notice my racket is nice and flat. If you angle it, it's going to fall off. Now that we did a little balancing on the sweet spot, we're going to stand inside our hula hoops. We're going to be in an athletic stance. My knees are bent. I have my boot, so if the ball gets away from me, Mr. Buxa has to get it to help me out. He's in an athletic stance. We're just going to first practice hitting the ball up. It should not go any higher, if you look at Mr. Buxa, than your head. Nice, easy taps, and you can keep count. So he's going there. For me, little taps on the sweet spot. Nice, easy taps. And notice we're staying inside our hula hoop. If the ball gets away from us outside of the hula hoop, stop, pick it up, and start again. Ready?
Or have your dog get it. No, I'm just kidding.
If you will. Mr. Buxa and I are going to have a competition, so you can go longer. Notice, am I using my other hand? No, but you can put it behind your back. A lot of kids, when they come into the gym, they want to put both on the racket. Our knees are bent, the ball is controlled, and it's not going above our head. You're still going over there, huh? And again, if you don't have a racket, just use your hand. This is good for hand-eye coordination.
However, this is no good either. Look, see this right here? Kids do, oh, I did a million, and it's going up like 1 inch.
Yeah,
okay.
And just like this. It should be about 1 foot off the racket or your hand. No higher than your head. If you notice, my racket is even with about my belly button.
Or navel.
And you should be following along with us. If you guys look online, there's ways to create your own racket with a paper or plastic plate, a popsicle stick, and if you have a balloon at home, you can even use a balloon.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Hitting it up. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to step outside your hula hoop, and now we're going to practice hitting the ball down like a dribble. Knees are bent, and you have to keep it inside your space. Just hitting it down. I'm not hitting it very hard. It's just nice, easy flicks of the wrist, tapping the ball down. Obviously, if you are using a stuffed animal right now, you can't do this part, so go back to hitting the ball up instead. Whoop. Hitting it down. And keep count. If you mess up, go ahead and try again and try to beat your other score.
We used to have competitions in here, and we'd have the, you know, little clock or something in a minute, and there's kids that did it for the whole minute and got 120 in a row without stopping. But you have to do it properly. Again, this is hand-eye coordination. Hey, if you, I know you can't really see too much, but with technology, you can probably zoom in. And every time Miss LaPrairie and I are striking this ball, so to speak, our eyes are literally glued to the center of the ball. And we're using I'm using my hand. That tennis racket is an extension of her hand. Wherever her hand goes, that racket goes. So your hand-eye coordination is really, really great to develop because it comes in handy with a lot of different things. Cup stacking, any sport, to get to use your left side of your body too. Don't ever be afraid to use the other. When you think you have it done, righty, 90% of people are right-handed, okay? But to use your other side, all right? And that is, if you could do it equally, that's called ambidextrous, okay?
And one thing, if you're going, it should be coming up to about your belly button. The ball should meet your racket or your hand. I don't want to see you guys doing real little baby dribbles down here. Okay, knees bent, right here and down. Now, we're going to do a little checklist on your own. So Mr. Brooks is going to stand in his. I'm going to stand in my hula hoop. The goal is to get at least 10. If you can get 10, you're going to move on to the next one. You do not move on to our next step until you get what number? 10. So we're going to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you didn't get it, you're going to pause our video and keep going until you get the magic number 10. If you got your 10, next, 10 down. Knees bent, ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you got your 10, you're moving on. If you didn't get 10 at this point either, pause the video and keep going until you get what number? 10. For today, here's what we're going to end with. Once you get your 10, 10, we're going to do a flip-flop. So if you notice here, Mr. Buxa can't do it so well with his hand.
I'm going to try, though.
Ball here, it's front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. You're flipping. The biggest thing here, a lot of kids mess up with, they don't have the racket completely flat when they flip it. So it's going to be flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. If you can do all three of those with your dominant hand, the hand that you color with, then you're going to start again and try it with your other hand. Now I'm using my left. There's 10. Left going down. This helps us develop both sides of our brain. 10. And remember, you can only move on if you get 10. And I'm going to try the flip-flop. A little bit trickier using your other hand. All right, the question for Seesaw. What part of your hand or your racket do you want to make contact with when you make contact with the ball? Think of that word we talked about in the beginning. All right, we will catch you the next time in our next video.
SS is your clue. S squared.